This microcredential deals with tree genetics and consists of 4 targeted skills. This targeted skill deals with tree heredity. First attempts at controlling tree heredity were based on observations of natural stands and speciation. Trees that seemed to have good growth and disease resistance were kept, while others were not. Traditionally, forests were self-populating and self-regenerating. The feeling was that they did not need management by humans. Although most forest trees are wild, there is a science of forest management for optimal production of commercially important species. Within a stand of the same species, the individual trees are genetically diverse. This diversity happens during meiosis, or the sexual part of plant reproduction, in which sex cells are produced with half the normal number of chromosomes of the species. Meiosis is a more complex process than mitosis, or simple cell division. Mitosis produces more cells like itself with the normal number of chromosomes. Chromosomes have arms of the same length and spacing, called homologous regions. During meiosis, chromosomes align to undergo crossover, in which chromosome pieces break off and swap homologous pieces of genetic material to shuffle the genes. Meiosis results in genes crossing over to form new combinations to increase genetic diversity in the next generation. This can result in characteristics different from either parent. In plants, meiosis occurs in the anther that produces pollen and in the ovary that produces eggs. Each egg and pollen grain is haploid, meaning that each has only half the normal number of chromosomes in the cell. When the pollen grain unites with the egg cell in fertilization, the normal number of chromosomes, called the diploid number, is restored. An example of natural pollination would be when a butterfly picks up pollen on its body and transfers it to another flower while gathering nectar. If a human collects and transfers pollen from one flower to another of the same species and selects only healthy specimens, this is referred to as controlled pollination. It is not a natural means of plant pollination. However, this technique is an important part of a controlled seed development program to influence inherited characteristics and to lead to better plant breeding programs. Seed production research is important to develop disease and pest-resistant plant strains. This can help survival of endangered species. An asexual form of reproduction is cloning. A clone is genetically identical to the parent. Some trees, like sugar maple, birch, or dogwood, can be cloned or reproduced through rooted cuttings. Not all species can be propagated this way, as they do not form sufficient roots from a cutting. A warming climate can favor insects and diseases which can eliminate native trees. An example in the northeast region of the U.S. is the oak population. It has been devastated by the gypsy moth and is being replaced with red maple and black birch trees. Shifting the composition of the forest is due to a changed environmental condition. Genetic improvements to a stand of trees can improve its overall health and resilience to pest and disease, and also the value of its lumber. Better information about soil productivity is also a factor. The U.S. Forest Service has conducted experiments to improve several species of hardwood trees that were in short supply in the southern U.S. This tree improvement program produced the first certified genetically superior trees that were planted as clones, or root cuttings, from healthy trees within the southern and central U.S. Another research program studied the genes of peach trees to isolate genes that help the trees tolerate cold, drought, and shorter sunlight rays at higher altitudes. Genetically improved trees are important to keep forests healthy, tolerate environmental changes, and realize their commercial value. Forest management has a long-term impact on the genetic diversity, structure, and resilience of forest populations. The science of tree genetics attempts to improve the species to maintain healthy forests and to ensure better wood products. To recap, the process of meiosis shuffles genes to provide genetic diversity that a species needs to survive. By observing the growth patterns resulting from a warming climate, programs can work to produce resistant species. It is important to know and understand the mechanisms of controlled pollination and cloning, plus how to genetically improve trees to withstand environmental stress and maintain commercial value.